And, I mean, speaking of the NFL, we had some NFL action this weekend. If you didn't know, it was the NFL playoffs. Those did take place. And so, while the Browns-Steelers game's going on still right now, it's 35-10 in the third quarter early. There's still a lot of game to play with that. So, we don't necessarily have the AFC lines out yet, but we do have some early NFC lines, Brett. Rams at Packers, Bucs at Saints. Early gut feelings. What are your thoughts with these games?
Well, I'm curious what's going to happen with Aaron Donald. He left the Rams' last playoff game. They're winning versus Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious what's going to happen with him. But if he's not available, I'm going to wish I took this Green Bay -7 because that line's going to jump probably to at least 8.5, I would think. So I think if you think Aaron Donald's going to be out, you want this Green Bay -7 right now. Now, there's a chance Donald plays and maybe it drops a little bit, but I don't think it'll drop below 6.5. So I really think the play is to grab it now if you like Green Bay. And if you like the Rams with or without Donald, I would definitely wait till Donald is officially out.
I'm on your side with liking this Packers -7 play, and I may grab it regardless right now because of a different player and their injury. Jared Goff is playing with pins in his right thumb. He wasn't supposed to play in this last game until Jake Wolford took a hit to the head and had to go to the hospital. Now, Goff was able to come in and win, but Green Bay gets a lot colder than Seattle does. I don't know how his thumb would necessarily react to that cold. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a fresh injury. He's still recovering from.
Maybe it'll
Green
be
Bay.
numb.
The frozen tundra is a tough place to go play, especially when it gets really cold like this in late January or mid-January. So I think Green Bay has just been a machine on offense, and with the concerns of injury with the Rams on both sides of the ball, it seems like a no-brainer for the Packers right now. So I think grabbing the -7 while it's still within one touchdown is the play because I stayed off of the Bama -7 when the opening line was like that, and that went to -8.5, and I'm kicking myself for it. So I think I might do the smart thing and try to grab Packers -7 before maybe that gets to a -8.5 similarly.
All right, fair enough. I like that, Higgins. And then New Orleans -3.5 is interesting because it's really tough to beat a team 3 times in one season, Higgins. But New Orleans has killed Tampa Bay this year. So I'm certainly not going to pick Tampa in this one. So it's really New Orleans or nothing for me. And the question is, do I think people are going to hop on New Orleans throughout the week, or do I think they're going to hop on Tampa? My gut tells me they're going to hop on Tampa, so maybe I get New Orleans at just 3 and I can push with a field goal by the end of the week. And maybe I'm more enticed to take that by our next podcast, or maybe I'm even waiting till Sunday, but 3.5, I'm probably going to stay off of it just because maybe this one comes down to a field goal late, and I don't know. 3.5 just seems like it's just not. It doesn't cover all the numbers I want it to cover.
Yeah, as an early line, I don't necessarily see the value at New Orleans -3.5 to give you reason to take it right now. This is a Drew Brees versus Tom Brady legacy game is really what it is. That's kind of what this
Ooh.
game comes down to. The two have been fighting it out for the all-time touchdown record with each other. To your point, the Saints did play against the Bucs twice and played them really well. But also, it's really tough to beat a team 3 times. That's a really, really tall task.
I totally agree, but I mean, look at the scores of those 2 games. Hold
I know.
on,
I
let me
know.
pull them up because I don't have them. But I mean, the scores of these games.
The scores of these games were New Orleans won opening week 34-23. That was at home, and then later on they won 38-3 in Tampa Bay.
Tom wasn't particularly great in either of those. It was just a mess. Like I I just remember thinking to myself after the second one, I was like, I don't really think Tampa Bay wants to see these guys in the postseason, and they're matched up. I think it'll be closer than that second score indicates, but I'm not willing to just say, oh, it's so hard to beat a team 3 times they can't do it. They have really not given me a reason to believe they can do it.
And if you look at how both teams played in their wild card game, for example, New Orleans ran over Chicago and got slimed on by the Nickelodeon graphics, basically, every time they scored a touchdown. And Tampa struggled against a Washington team that had to start their third string, or I guess second string quarterback technically, because Dwayne Haskins was ruled out and Alex Smith was their starter. But Taylor Heineke probably made himself a multimillionaire in the process of that one game right there, and is going to get himself paid with a backup quarterback contract somewhere. And Tom Brady struggled against that Washington team. So if you're looking off of their most recent game in that playoff scenario, plus their most recent matchups against each other, New Orleans seems like the team that you should go with here. But I still stick with the fact that -3.5 on an early line where in the coronavirus era, anyone can get ruled out this week. I don't see the value to necessarily take that yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.